part 11. So today's video I wanted to do a back test, and from the very time I started, or the very time I joined crypto or Bitcoin. In 2017, I quite remember I heard about the technology around 2015. Really didn't give much credence to it, and 2016, I wasn't really much into crypto. I tried using it. Uh, well, it worked for me, but I thought it was another form of a digital reference currency like e-gold or Liberty Reserve, those kind of stuff. That was what I thought Bitcoin was. So until 2017 or the ending of 2016, I think I started giving it much time, and that was when I was following the price, the charts of Bitcoin, and I still recall it on January 2017. It was around $700. By that time, I didn't know anything about market cipher, so I'm just trying to use this market cipher script to also give guys insight on how Bitcoin works and how correction works, and how cyclical Bitcoin is in terms of correction, and why there's a need to buy Bitcoin when we are in a correction mode. So in January 2017, Bitcoin was around 700 USD. So this is 700 that I could recall. So if you're looking at this chart right now, let's see what happens here. Let's see what's going on here. You could realize the money flow was in the positive territories. I am on the weekly time frame, so it's a very summarized time frame, which means it's a very significant time frame as well. That momentum was also in the positive. Momentum goes up, then comes down again, regains momentum, goes up again. Then you see it will plateau over here. It comes down, comes up until momentum now loses that strength, then breaks down, boom. But what happens to money flow? Money flow is also heading downwards here into the negative territories. So it's momentum registering a bearish sign, which is a downtrend, then heading downwards. You see, back in the days, there was nothing like market cipher script for me to land at the very direction of the asset. So if I was going to buy crypto, I was probably going to base my financial decisions based on rumors or probably what somebody is saying on YouTube. That's it. And I was accumulating small Bitcoin, so I really didn't care if there was a correction. I didn't know much about correction. So let's see what happened, because I really remember what happened in 2017. Bitcoin moved from 700 US dollars and hit 20,000. So from $700 to 20,000 over here. That was the year I can tell that Bitcoin moved very crazy. Like I didn't really believe that it was possible for Bitcoin to grow like that. I thought is it when you don't know much about something, you really don't know what's going on. So I was very naive with very cycles of the market, and when Bitcoin hit 20,000, I thought it was going to 40,000 because I was just listening to what people were saying and just basing my decisions or financial decisions on what people were saying. But again, I was just accumulating Bitcoin and riding along. But in 2018, that opened my eyes. I mean, that was the most bearish years in crypto. You see, Bitcoin started correcting itself from 20,000 here to 3,000. I still recall it. It hit 3,000. That's the year of consolidation. Sorry, the region. It consolidated here on 3,000. And let's see what happened to the direction of our momentum. Momentum was down, liquid, and our money flow was also going down. So it's like two of our most influential oscillators are going down. If you had market cipher about that time, you would probably appreciate the direction of crypto or Bitcoin, because market cipher gives you the insight into the very direction of the asset, because it tracks momentum, which is a force, and it also tracks money flow, which is liquid. So it's like two most influential oscillators, more or less like shows you the very direction of the asset. So in 2018, I can recall it was bearish because we started falling down from January of 2018, then we came down into I think December. Then in 2019 we started heading upwards. So I think we consolidated in 2019 at 3,000, then we started heading upwards. So let's see what happened to momentum here. Momentum crossed oversold territories. Momentum was gathering momentum again. Momentum is a force, and it was heading upwards. So we'll see what happens to price. Price was also pushing upwards. Let's see what happens to liquid. Liquid was here in the negative, then it started heading into the positive. So what happens when two most influential oscillators are heading upwards? Price obviously goes up. So we started moving from 3,000 to 11,000 here. Then again, momentum crosses this overbought territories as a sign of correction, then comes down again. Money was also leaving, so comes down to again 5,000. Then momentum builds up again and goes up to 10,000, comes down again. Money was still in the positive territory till we broke that 10,000 cash. I call it a cash because we're within that 10,000 region for a while. That's a range. That's yeah, that's region of consolidation or something like that. It's hard to trade in these regions. So, but we already know after every consolidation there's an uptrend and there's a downtrend. So depending on what or where the oscillators are heading towards, there was money in the assets, so money started building up, and momentum also started heading upwards. You understand? This is a perfect trade if you entered along from this side. So we were in 2020 pandemic years, had another correction to 30. So we went from 10,000 to almost 58,000 in the May of 2011. Started correcting downwards, 30,000 to 3, went up again to 60,000 till we started dumping down to also, so right now we're around 20,000. So what have you learned over the past years? We've seen Bitcoin move from 2017. Sorry, this is a video was concerned what's happening with Bitcoin part 11. Sorry, and my name is Seunupa, former server moderator and also a consultant for Market Cipher. And Market Cipher is basically a trading script that gives you insight into the every duration of an asset. If you're new to this channel, you can like, subscribe, share. Our goal is to learn crypto, understand how crypto works, and if you want to trade, you can also trade as well using the script. And I was a former server moderator for this company, the trading script I'm talking about, Market Cipher, and it's owned by a guy called CryptoPhase, very popular guy, one of the best traders online who trades live, who shows his trades, and his script has changed lives all over the world. And I'm just talking about what's happening with Bitcoin. So in 2017, what have we learned so far? In 2017, in the space of 5 years, I've seen Bitcoin move from 700 US dollars to 20,000 USD. That was in the space of in the space of 10 months or 11 months. Then in 2018, I've seen the same Bitcoin move from 20k, 20 USD to 3,000. Then in 2019, we've seen the same Bitcoin move from 3,000 to 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 or so. 2020, 12,000 to 30,000. And you've seen the same correction happen over. It's like, the long story short is like, correction is part of crypto. I mean, it's a cycle. We have two kinds of bubbles. We have the cyclical and we have the tulip, right? So any asset with a fundamental value goes through cycles, right? If Bitcoin didn't have any fundamental value during a correction, Bitcoin would have never resurrected. But since Bitcoin have a fundamental value, Bitcoin gets corrected and still moves on. You understand? Most of these experimental blockchains or these alternative currencies that I saw in 2017, most of them are not even now. Like, they don't exist anymore because they don't have any fundamental value. They just promise you of something that they are trying to solve on the blockchain, but they never perform it, and during moments of utility they die off. You understand? Bitcoin never dies off because it has a fundamental value. Bitcoin has a limited supply of 21 million. That is a programmable supply. In other words, so Bitcoin it's deflationary assets. So if you see Bitcoin moving from 20,000 to $3,000, as market manipulation is normal. The demand and supply, people are selling crypto, so price is going down. But when price goes down, that's the best time to accumulate, because that's the best time Bitcoin gets cheaper for you to buy more. You understand? So if you know about these cycles, you don't really care. The problem with most people is they don't have any reference scripts that gives them insight. With market cipher right now, back in the days, there wasn't market cipher for me, so I didn't know the direction. It was just based on rumors and facts. But right now, I have a script that gives me insight. So it's like I am not literally basing my financial decisions on what people are saying. It's based on what the script is saying, and the script tracks money flow, and it also tracks momentum, which are influential oscillators that determines the very direction of price. So it's like I'm part of those 10% that have insights. That's almost, people say that 90% of all traders are losing to 10% of insiders, because 10% of insiders knows the direction of the assets. Market Cyber gives you the direction. So it's like I'm not literally trying to sell a script, but again, if you want to know how to trade, if you want to do your basic technical analysis, well, then you need a script that gives you insight. And Market Cyber does it for me because it simplifies trading and makes trading easier. So if you ask me what's happening to Bitcoin per 11, it's normal. It's passing through, or it's going through the stages of correction, which is the best time to accumulate. And yep, that's Bitcoin for you. Basically, Bitcoin just goes through cycle, gets corrected, and goes back up, hits an overbought territories, then corrects again, comes down, then goes up again. That's how the markets work. So basically, yeah, we might hit 100,000 at the end of the year, possibly, if momentum surges up and money flows surges up on the weekly time frame, which is a very significant time frame. So I'm hoping for this to happen, to see a massive pump, like massive pump, let's say to 90,000 or so, which is possible, because again, whatever goes up comes down, whatever comes down goes up. So until then, this is just a basic what's happening with Bitcoin part 11. Have a nice time, people.